Hello everyone, Phoenix Early here, and welcome back to another FS17 Let's Play, where we hop in the server and do some things prior to stream. And sometimes we talk about stuff, so today's going to be one of those days where we talk about stuff. I have a suggestion from a subscriber, and I want to apologize first, right off the bat. This is taking 2 weeks to get to, because I actually recorded another Let's Play Let's Talk last week, and after watching it and reviewing it, I decided not to post it, simply because I wasn't really all that happy with how it turned out. I think I talked about some things that I probably shouldn't have, so I just kind of just tossed it out the window. And I'm actually glad I did, because I made a video on Monday talking about what the topic was, and why I didn't post it, and it got demonetized. You can't talk about YouTube's golden boy, especially when they're trying to cover up his dirty deeds. I'll tell you what. But anyway, let's get into today's topic, and that is it is suggested by Goku S Saiyan 3. I hope I said Saiyan right. I never really got into Dragon Ball Z. I had a bunch of friends that were really into it. Even my cousin. My cousin was like really into it. Like, he had them all the seasons and stuff on DVD. He was playing all the game, all that stuff. It just never really piqued my interest. But I hope I said it right. I know enough to know that Goku was a character, and S probably stands for Super, so Super Saiyan. I know enough, but anyway, I hope I pronounced it right, so I don't look like a total noob, which I am, because I didn't get into it. But anyway, let's talk about his topic. So I was kind of confused, and I'm not even gonna lie, I'm still kind of confused about what he wanted his topic to be, or what his topic is that he actually wanted me to talk about. He said it once, and I asked him to kind of elaborate, and he wanted to know, every time a man and a woman have a fight, why are the men always the bad guys? And this was going to be really hard for me to talk about, because I don't understand what he means. If he's just talking about like everyday arguments, or if he's talking about courtroom stuff, or what. So I'm not quite sure what one he's talking about. I'm going to try to talk about both, and hopefully I don't lose my train of thought like I did when I just tried recording this video. So yeah, I'm gonna do my best to talk about both. And B, I don't see as the guys always being the bad guy. So I'm gonna be probably gonna confuse myself, which means I'm probably gonna confuse you. So I apologize for that right off the bat. But why are guys always the bad guy? Simply put, women. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. No, I'm kidding. It's not all women. It's like this new radical feminism movement going on, where they're teaching everybody, well, they're trying to teach everybody, especially young men and boys, that it is wrong to be masculine. They're calling it toxic masculinity. Now, don't get me wrong, there is forms of masculinity that can be labeled as toxic. And I know what you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the bullies who like kind of beat people to show off that they're the best and stuff like that. Yeah, I get that could be toxic, but that's not all forms of masculinity. That's not how how all guys are, all masculine males are. It's not the case at all, but that's what they're teaching. They're teaching that masculine behaviors, and such is wrong, and they're teaching that is the worst thing. The root cause of all problems are masculine males. It's total bullcrap. But that's a lot of the reason why, when it comes to arguments between men and women, men always look like the bad guys, because it's slowly just chipping away at today's society and making people feel like, hey, this is actual cause. Men, being so masculine. Men were more feminism. If males were more effeminate, it wouldn't be an issue. I don't see that being the case at all. Another reason why a lot of times, guys get to blame is because no matter how much feminists try to argue that men and women are equal and should be equal in every way, it's not the case. Men are built to be stronger, bigger. That's just how we're built. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Men are designed to do that grunt work and everything. So if you put a male and female in a ring that's received the same amount of training, and I'm talking about like a UFC fighting octagon, whatever they call it, typically the male's going to win. Don't get me wrong, there are some females out there are total badass and and can outperform men, but on everyday men and women, usually the man's the bigger guy, the more imitating one, such. But for example, to prove this point, there was a transgendered UFC fighter, or I don't know if they fought for you. It was a mixed martial arts fighter that was just dominating the female divisions, and it's like because she used to be a guy, And I just got myself in so much hot water because I said that, but it's true. It's true. But that's another reason why men are used, because they're looked to be the aggressor because we're bigger, we're more aggressive and such. So that's why it comes off. It seems like the men are the bad guys. Another reason why, and my personal reason why it's such, is because men don't really talk about things. When a man and a woman gets in a fight, typically what happens is a woman goes and talks to her friends. That's how women cope with such a thing. They talk to friends. They talk about it. They get things off their chest. Whereas guys usually just go, if they go hang out with their friends, they go play video games, play games of some sort, watch a movie, and typically forget about it. So you don't really hear a man's side. So of course, you get one side of the story, you're typically going to think that the guy who's not giving his side of the story is the bad guy. So there's three reasons why it seems as though men are always in the wrong and the bad guys, but it's not always the case. It truly is not always the case. When I say this, I'm talking about everyday arguments. Everyday arguments are people are both in the wrong. There's one side that's probably more wrong than the other, but in the heat of the moment, things go terribly awry. But like I said, there's a whole nother case when it comes to courtrooms. Courtrooms typically make the guy to be the bad guy. Now, it's not always the case, and especially when it comes to like police involvement. A lot of times it's usually it's painted that a lot of times that males are like the perpetrators of domestic disputes. If you guys watch the live PD, you see that there's cases where that's not the case at all. There was one, was it last week or week before? I don't remember. Where they get called out to a residence. They had already been there earlier that night. You didn't see that part on live PD, but they talk about it, how they were already out there that night, where the guy had called and said she was being violent towards him. And they told him just to stay separated. She then called the police on him claiming that he was being violent and threatened to harm her with a knife, which they showed up, and that's the first call that they showed on live PD, and ended up being, they determined she was doing it out of retaliation, that he had not done the things she had said. And again, they asked him to separate and go about their night. And they ended up getting called again by the guy who was, again, assaulted in his own home. And she ended up getting arrested for it, for, the crap. So, it's not always that the guy is the bad guy when it comes to, like, stuff like that, police involvement. Courtrooms typically go a different way, such as like family court and stuff. When it comes to kids, the woman is usually seen as being right. The court typically sides with the mother of the children and such. So there's that comes from years and years of crap that doesn't get acknowledged in this whole feminist movement I was talking about earlier. They see that women don't get fair treatment in workplaces and such. Well, men don't get fair treatment in courtrooms because typically 90% of the time the court side with the mother. Doesn't matter how bad of a mom that woman is, they're still going to side with her because that's just how the court usually falls. Like, I don't understand it. I understand why, and that's because years and years of this going on, it just falls that way all the time. But I've witnessed people who are terrific fathers lose custody of their children because the mother accuses the guy of something, and that's just how it is. What we really need to look into in the world is these false accusations. Man, and Hollywood is showing it clearly these days, just how damaging false accusations can be to people. Before the whole allegations and stuff that started, I'm not going to go into too much detail of it, but before the whole allegations really start going downhill, just out there in the open, there was a case where, I don't know if you guys know a rapper by the name of Nelly. He was accused of misconduct, and he fought, and it was come out that this woman had falsely accused him. And once you're falsely accused of something, there's really no taking it back, because it's once it's in the books, it's in the books. You can't remove it. Much like something that's online. Like, there was a case where a YouTuber was recently accused, and I'm talking about just like yesterday or the day before, was accused of something, and although it was untrue, he was trying to be funny by making certain comments which people had taken out of context, clipped together, and made it seem like he was up to no good. Now you Google his name, and the first articles that come up are these false accusations made towards him. That never goes away. That it just never goes away. So these people are out here making false accusations, and it's starting to get to the point where it's becoming it's destroying careers, and there's no repercussions for it. So of course, immediately once someone speaks out against it, immediately the guy's in the wrong. Like, immediately people were against Nelly, and then Nelly, I guess, proved himself. I'm not really sure what he did, but it was proven that he was falsely accused, and there was like no punishment. Just like there was that case where a woman accused of college frat of something like that, and it come out to be completely wrong. It's disgusting. It really is, that we're not doing more to A, look into these false accusations, B, that we're not doing more to prevent the false accusations from happening. Now, I'm not saying all these accusations in Hollywood are false, because there are a lot of them that have been proven to be true. But the fact that we, as soon as someone names someone, we immediately start a witch hunt to find out, just start accusing everybody left and right. It's kind of disturbing, and it kind of paints, masculine figures in Hollywood to be these type of people. Well, I'm trying to think of one that I just like Stan Lee has been, the comic book guy, has been accused of stuff now from nurses that help take care of him. Stan Lee, like, I don't believe that one at all. Now guys like Harvey Weinstein and everything, yeah, there's too many cases to say, not the case. But anyway, that's a whole. I'm talking about stuff that's not even on topic. Point is here, guys are not always the bad guys. There's just a lot of factors that go into it that, immediately when something, arguments do happen, immediately the guy looks like the bad guy. Until you hear both sides of the story, never assume anything until you hear what everybody has to say. And after that, if you feel that who's the bad guy, then it's okay to say, yeah, you're the bad guy. But don't ever assume just because of someone's gender, someone's age, someone's, I don't know, IQ level. I don't know how smart they are. That's what I was trying to say. Never assume the bad guy in the situation, because you never know. You just never know. Like the whole Ray Rice thing. I'm going to get myself in hot water here too. Jesus. The Ray Rice situation, he should never hit his wife. Never ever. Never ever is that an okay thing to do, and he made himself the bad guy by doing it. It's never right to guys, you are with me on this one. It's never okay to hit a woman under any circumstances. It's never all right. But if you watch that video, she's being super violent towards him to begin with. She is bigger than him, and he, if we went through that tape, if he had never swung, which again he should not have, never should have, if he wouldn't have done that, we would never heard the story. She's beating on him, we would have never heard the story. But because he took one swing and knocked her out, again, wrong on all levels. Please do not, send me messages saying that I'm for domestic violence or anything, because I'm not. I'm saying, I've said I don't know how many times, that what he did was completely 100% wrong. But if he would have never taken that swing, we would have never heard about it. She's beating on him. Video evidence that she's beating on him. And there is nothing about it. Like, the only reason why we ever saw the video in the first place, the only reason why the police had probably ever saw the video in the first place, was because he hit her. If he wouldn't have hit her, that video would, the cops would have never been called. That video would have never been watched. That video would have never been released to the public. And that's the things that we don't see. We don't see those type of things happening in the world. Like, the biggest thing that blows my mind is Lena Dunham being at all involved in the whole Me Too or Time's Up, whatever they're calling it these days, movement, when she herself has claimed a misconduct with her little sister, like, who was underage at the time. Like, why is it okay for her to be involved in, a movement against male misconduct when she's openly a minute about, you know, misconduct with an underage child. Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. But I hope it somehow explains your topic, Goku. I hope you've gotten something from it. Again, I said it was going to be hard for me to talk about it because I don't understand it completely, and I don't think we ever will. But anyway, that's going to do it for today's video, guys. If you did like the video, be sure to leave a like down below. If you guys want to see more Let's Play videos, be sure to click subscribe to those guys. Thank you so very, very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.